And we're live. Excuse me one second. Let me close this door so I don't interrupt my wife while she's reading. So, in my world right now, there are the convergence of two things going on. What's going on, Mr. Wilson? Ms. Mullins, thanks for joining the stream. Ms. Curvy Barrels, look at that. I'm thinking I'm going to be talking to myself and really just putting this out there for those that are seeking financial freedom and those that are seeking a better way to find at a later date. But there's the convergence of a few different things going on in my world right now. Half of the people that I know and that are, what's up, Craig, that are on, that are doing anything this Sunday night, they're being entertained by the bread and circus of the National Football League. And the others are getting their 35% squared away, which they haven't done already, or maybe for some of their sub accounts. So I have about 6 accounts of people that I've helped that kind of came in to Karatbars for the coin and really don't have any access to it. But I'm here to help them also get their 35% too. I'm not leaving any free money on the table. Mr. Hamilton, thanks for joining the stream, sir. So I titled this one, Let's Do the Math. And I'm here with paper, pencils, and books to do the math, because like Mr. Alan Austin shared in one of our greatest videos and one of our greatest CDs from Wealth Builders Worldwide, it is math. It's just math. It's not emotional. And most of what we've been programmed to do is make emotional decisions when it comes to money. And that programming is down in our subconscious. It's deep in our subconscious, and we don't even know that we're making an emotional decision because it's already been rooted in. And as Bob Proctor would tell you, it's that paradigm. So you're making a decision based on your paradigm 97% of the time and not based on the information. One of our leaders in Wealth Builders Worldwide and Karatbars, Louis Straub, posted today. He says that there's the people that didn't get it with Karatbars, it's because they weren't supposed to get it. And I challenge that, not in a negative way, but just for conversation, that I countered that most of the people that don't get Karatbars is because they haven't taken a look. Because once you take a look, your rationale will take over, because you cannot lie to yourself. You know the position that you're in financially. You could be in a good place, a seemingly good place. You know, people that say they're good, like I could say, I'm good. I'm married to a beautiful woman. I live in a 3,000 square foot house with just the two of us. We have a car. We have access to get anywhere we want in the world because of a perk that I have from a part-time job that I took specifically to open that up. So yes, I'm good, but when I do the math and look at the grand scheme of things, I'm not good, because I think about my dreams, and my desires. And, you know, I'm going to just be selfish for a second. In this world, do we need a domicile? Do we need a house? Yes, we do. Okay, why not live in the best? We need a car, a vehicle, a mode of transportation. Why not drive the best? You know, the planet is what? 70% water. Why not own a nice boat? You know what I'm saying? So we consistently settle for less than what the Creator made us to do. You know, he said, don't use my name in vain. So when you say I am good settling, you're using his name in vain. He is the I am. So I am wealthy. I am opulent. I am well able to do whatever it is with the Joshua and Caleb spirit. So when I say this, let's do the math. Let's look at what you're saying you're good at. And I couldn't find it before I went live, and I had to just go ahead and just hit the button. Oh, there it is right there. See, when you got your files in order, you can find it. The U.S. Census Bureau statistics says that for every 100 people at the age of 65, 1 will be wealthy, 4 will have enough money to retire. That's different for everybody. What's that number? 3 will still be working past retirement. 63 will depend on Social Security or charity from family or some other organization. And 29 will be dead. So 95% of people at age 65 and over cannot afford to retire and work until they die or live subpar lives. So let's do the math so we can make a decision based on math, because our financial decisions should be based on two things: assets and liabilities. We have the choice to either add to or deplete from our wealth with every decision that we make financially. Now, when cash flow comes in, yes, everyone has expenses. Everyone, you can't avoid it. The only person that can avoid expenses is the person that's living in the basement of their parents' house. I have a nephew that's doing that. He's fresh out of college. He's living in his parents' basement, my brother and his stepmother. So his only expense is the food that he may want that's different from what's in the household. I believe he may pay a cell phone bill, but compared to his income, he doesn't have any expenses. So a lot of this is, I'm going to just think about him and something I was reading earlier. This is from The Richest Man in Babylon, the Bible for Financial Freedom, a great starting point. They were talking to Arcad in the gathering center in ancient Babylonia or Babylon, and they were talking about the goddess of good luck. So they were just sharing tales on how luck, doesn't necessarily look for one person or the other, or no one's favorite, but it's those who take advantage of opportunity. So one old man said, well, let me tell a tale of how the goddess of good luck bypassed me because I wasn't ready to take advantage of an opportunity. And it says, many years ago, when I was a young man, just married and well started to earning, my father did come one day and urged most strongly that I enter into an investment. For my nephew, his uncle did come and urge most strongly that he enter into an investment. And just fast forwarding, says, thou, my son, bespoke my father unto me, art now in thy young manhood. It is my deep desire that thou begin the building of a valuable estate for thyself, that thou mayest become respected among men. I desire to see thou profit from a knowledge of the thoughtless mistakes of thy uncle. This do I most ardently desire, my father, he replied. Then this do I advise. Do what I should have done at your age. From thy earnings, keep out 1/10 to put into favorable investments. And what did the son do? He says, let's see, thy words are words of wisdom, my father. Greatly do I desire riches, yet there are many uses to which my earnings are called. Therefore do I hesitate to do as thou advise, for I am young and have plenty of time. Well, that opportunity stood before him to enter into a worthy investment that brought those that did enter into it great return, but he never did. So now he is an old man telling this story and says that here I am, an old man, and have yet to begin the building of my estate. Why? Because I never started. And with Wealth Builders Worldwide, Karatbars International, we start at first, accumulate gold. Pay yourself first. So let's do the math for those that don't, because when we pay ourselves first, we must pay ourselves in an asset class that outpaces inflation. Paper assets will never outpace inflation because they're not designed to. They are designed, the Fed designs for inflation to come in. That's how the economy grows. So when we say the economy is growing, what's actually growing? Because the GDP will inflate and deflate. What's actually growing is the debt. The debt-based system is what's growing, because the more money that we need, the more they print it. They just print money and create money out of thin air. Let's look at the purchasing of my house. My wife and I applied for a loan. They didn't come and hand us a bag with a couple $100,000 in it. No, they got on the keyboard, punched in some numbers, blah, 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 sent digits that way to the seller and sent us a bill plus interest for the money that was created out of thin air for us to buy the house. So we're paying interest on top of money that was created. Then the seller deposited that money into the account. Then fractional reserve lending came in, and the bank only needs to hold 10% in reserve and can lend out the other 90% to more borrowers who will then deposit it. Mr. Mike Maloney did a great animation of that, I believe, in episode 4 of The Hidden Secrets of Money. I implore you to go watch it. So now the math that I wanted to do is something that had me up till 5 in the morning last night, and I want to do it live. the average income in 2018 for us Americans was $62,000. So for the sake of argument, let's just round it down to $60,000, right? So that's your average income divided by 12. That's going to be $5,000 before taxes that you're bringing in a month. So now let's take the traditional pay yourself first plan that we've been force-fed as rats in the race, as cogs in the wheel, the 401k plan, and this is where they get you. Oh, we're going to match. So let's take 6%. What is it? Yeah, let me see. The average, okay, 6.2% was the average paid into 401k. So let's take 6%. And I believe they do this before taxes. So let's use those numbers. So times 6%, that's $300. And your company will match up to 6%. So that's an additional $300. So that's $600 per month that you're putting into your 401k pre-tax. So now let's multiply that by 12. So plus 300 times 12 equals, no, that's not right. Let's just do 600 times 12. That's 7,200. I know that math in my head. So $7,200 saved for the year. All right. Now let's take this $7,200 and let's run it out. Let's say you're 50, and let's run it out 15 years to the age of retirement. Okay. So bear with me as we do this math, because again, that's what you're here for. We're going to do the math to show you how all roads lead to Karatbars, because it's math. It's not emotional. So you have $7,200 that's been added to your 401k for this year. And now we're going to look at that same $7,200 without the volatility of the market, because the 401k was, let's look that up. 401k beginning. I believe the last time I did this research, it was 1980. It was 1980 when it was introduced. 1978, Congress passes the Revenue Act of 1978, which included a provision to allow employees to avoid being taxed on a portion of income they decide to receive as deferred compensation rather than direct pay. So you are deferring the taxes. You're deferring the hit to it. So $7,200. Now let's adjust it for inflation. Inflation is an average of 3.2%, but let's bring it down. The economy is doing very well, and they're not getting into too much quantitative easing. So adjusted for inflation, you're only losing 2% of buying power per year. So this is your $7,200. Now, your first year that this is being saved, in the next 15 toward your 65-year-old retirement. So minus 2%. Now you're down to $7,056. Now subtract another 2% from that for the following year. So that's 2 years. Now subtract another 2%, that's 3. Minus 2%, that's 4. Minus 2%, that's 5. Minus 2%, that's 6. Minus 2%, that's 7. Minus 2%, that's 8. Minus 2%, that's 9. Minus 2%, that's 10. Over 10 years already, now that buying power for that $7,200, it has a buying power of $5,882, and you still haven't been taxed. We got another 5 years to go, right? So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. $5,300. You lost almost $2,000 that went into your 401k this year due to inflation, and that's you saving 6%. And this is averages. I know some of you make above average income, some of you are below that average, but we just want to do the average so you can see the numbers. So now from $7,200 being saved, you're down to a buying power of $5,317.69 15 years later. Because you started this at 50 and you're going to retire at 65. We're just using your income at 50 because your earlier years, you didn't start to save. You didn't start at 20 to start building an estate to save at 65, because you said, I have plenty of time to take care of that. I'll get to that later. All right. So now that 5317, but the government's not going to tax the lost value to inflation. They're going to tax the value that the dollars say, because over the years, this doesn't say $19.80, then $19.13, then $18.45. No, it still says 20. So the illusion is that I still have $20 to spend. But this 20 that I'm holding is losing value the more I hold it, because it's currency. It's meant to flow, it's meant to be exchanged for goods and services. And one of those goods and services that you should be exchanging it for is real money, to store your wealth. Money should be a store of wealth. So that's why we take our money and we store it in real money gold, to store our wealth. And that's beautiful there. If you don't know, this is the future of money and the future of currency and the future of global payments. That's why we say the time to get in is now, so you can ride the boom and not just be forced into it. You know, like some cab drivers. Some cab drivers saw Uber and Lyft coming and thought, oh, nothing of it. But then they saw their income go way down when they should have rode the boom and transitioned over. They should have been ready, but nah, they died. That's just a fly-by-night thing. And now I can't tell you the last time I've taken a cab, but I can tell you that I just took a Lyft on Tuesday to come from work to home. I took a Lyft because it was more convenient. So that $13 didn't hurt me for the convenience. So moving on, now the government's going to tax the $7,200 that was saved. And let's just say the tax rate is 20%. We know that's a very low tax rate. You got to have some shelters in place, like a home-based business, to properly receive most of your income. So let's take the 20% that the government took from that. So that's $1,440. So you lost $1,440 in taxes. You lost another, let's just say $5,400 was what the 72 came down after inflation. So that was $1,800. So from your $7,200 saved, minus the government's $1,440 at a 20% rate, and minus the inflation of 2% per year, that's $3,960. $3,960 from, now I'm looking at myself, calculator. You saved $7,200. That's what it told you. $7,200 from $600 a month at saving 6% and being matched by your employer. It said you had $7,200, but you got $3,960. Now let's just say you happen to do that for the 40 to 45 years. Let's say 45 years. Multiply that by 45. That's $178,200 over 48 years that you'll have in real money and buying power to use to retire at 65. How long do you think you can survive off of 178? That's why we say, that's why the Census Bureau told you in their statistics that you have to do something differently. You have to find a new system, a new plan, because the one that we have for you does not work for 95% of the people. Now, you may be part of the 5% following that plan. You may have had a parent that left you in the good with the life insurance plan. So their income was removed, but they left a couple $100,000, which gave you a boost. Maybe they left a house that now you can do with it. Now you can rent out, and now you're getting monthly cash flow from an asset. But we shouldn't be counting on that. We should be putting systems into place that pay us a residual cash flow monthly, weekly, from the acquisition of assets that then we can use to free us from the rat race and then move into bigger and better endeavors, more of the philanthropy that we want. You know, when you ask somebody, what is it that you desire to do? You get the general answer 88% of the time, and that's, I want to help people. Broke people can't help people. People that are working 80 hours a week can't help people. Yeah, you can show up sometimes, because most of the time what happens with the help that we want to give, we can't afford it. Why? Because we haven't made smart money moves. It's just math. I just showed you the math and the plan that you're doing and how it will not work. Paper assets do not outpace inflation. They cannot. The only way to outpace inflation with paper assets is to expose it to risk. Now, when you go to Vegas, or if you're gambling, they say never gamble, only gamble what you can afford to lose. Can you afford to lose the last 20 to 30 years, the money that's supposed to be there to take care of the last 20 to 30 years of your life? Can you afford to lose that? No, then don't put it in the table. Don't put it on the table. Protect it. Protect it in an asset that outpaces inflation, and gold has consistently done that. And to use the words of my big brother, Mr. Michael L. Dalco, I know it's not sexy. It's just gold. It just sits here, but it continues to appreciate year after year. And like Mike Maloney will tell you through his research, it's just a sponge that's sitting here waiting to soak up all the inflation that they do from the printing of money. So as they continue to print money and the powers that be continue to manipulate this price to suppress it and keep it down so you can't see what's behind the veil, that the real price or the real value of an ounce of gold is 5, 6, 7 times more than the price that they tell you. And then looking at some notes that I took a few weeks ago, if you really map it out, when they talk about the currency compared to the gold, because people will tell you based on what they've heard, no research, they just heard it. Well, gold goes up and down. Gold doesn't go up and down. The buying power of gold is constant. Where did I put that at? The volatility of currency, of the dollar. Every time you look in history, when they reevaluate the dollar, it's always compared to 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce never changes. So in 1900, 1 ounce of gold was valued at $20.67. So it took you roughly $20 to acquire an ounce of gold. That same ounce of gold in 1934 now cost you, I don't have any cash up here except some foreign currency, now cost you 35 of these guys. Fast forward to the end of the Bretton Woods Agreement, 1972, when Nixon took us off of the gold standard, ended the Bretton Woods Agreement. It took you now 120 of these guys to get the same ounce of gold. Did the gold move? No, the gold stayed constant. It's the currency that changed. Matter of fact, look at it. Who remembers the $20 bill when it was a circle around his face? When all the money looked like the $1 bill. They've just changed it to make it pretty, to continue to put the artwork in there, so we want to stack these. But this is a bill. This is a note. This is liability. You want to use this. You use this to exchange goods and services while we can. And now the good and service that you want to exchange is gold. This is what I wish we could do in Karatbars International. Now that I'm in the know, I spent 15 months with the knowledge in a book, but I never looked at it. When I finally looked at it, my mouth dropped open, because my knowledge from working on Wall Street, when I looked at it, it was a no-brainer for me. And that's why I said to Louis Straub via his post, was that I think that 100% of the people that we've exposed this to that say no and they're not affiliates didn't take a look. There's no way you could look at the video, the 21-minute video that's now outdated, because we've gone so much further. We've gone so much further down the wealth rabbit hole that it's literally, it's hard not to just sit back. It's hard to sleep, number one, knowing the wealth that is about to explode in my life. Like, oh my God, yeah, people are waiting to see, but what you're actually doing is waiting for the opportunity to ride the boom to pass you by. And then live on the side of history that says, man, I wish I would have did a listen. I wish I would have just watched it. That's why we're out here now. We're out here 7 days a week. Just like our big brother, I'm going to use my big brother, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, as the first telemarketer that I know of that literally expanded the kingdom of God exponentially through word of mouth. He went and got one person who knew Peter. They went and brought Peter in, and then I'm gonna make you fishers of men. And then they went and talked to somebody else. Then they talked to Thomas, and then he sent them out 2 by 2 and told them, don't take nothing with you. What did he send them out 2 by 2 for? To go spread the word. To go spread the word. And now we're celebrating MLK Day, and most of us do understand that one of MLK's last speeches was when he started to talk about economics and understanding that we can't fight this fight black and white. It's the haves and the have-nots. That's when he was quieted, silenced. And that's when that revolution was silenced. And we've gone along to get rights, the right to vote, the right to this, the right to that. Well, here we are with Karatbars International giving you the right to be wealthy, the right to be wealthy on purpose. How? By going out 2 by 2 and saving a portion of your depreciating income in your own gold savings account and saving gold for yourself and your family, for your posterity and your future. Because that's all we do. All of this right here is to try to get through that wall that you've built up. The paradigm that's been built up, that's been told to you is, oh, this is how you think. This is what you believe. I mean, here you go, you investigate what we're doing when we are backed by MasterCard. Our gold is shipped via FedEx. We're in business in now over 131 countries. And you know that the Federal Reserve System has the name federal, and they're not federal at all. It was a secret meeting on Tybee Island here in Georgia that was done in secret to form this organization. But you still operate using everything that they've put in place with this central banking system blindly, without doing, I don't need to do any research. I know it's corrupt, but you need to investigate your friends and family that's coming to tell you, thank you for that, Ramon, that's coming to tell you of a better way, that I found a better way that we can all benefit. We all keep our money, like my brother Dwayne said, Mr. Taylor, coach, it's like having a gold ATM in your own house. You take the 20, put it into the ATM or the cash, and it spits you out a gram of gold. And me doing that benefited thousands of people who got involved before me. No, I'm not. They're not getting rich off of me like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint every time I use this. You know, and just to quote my big brother, Mr. Dalco again, a stream I was watching, just refreshing myself on why it is I do this and why I'm out in the marketplace telling people and singing the praises of Karatbars from the high hills, that the way it's been prepared for wealth. Let's just say it took $20 to insure your vehicle per month. Okay. The insurance company has overhead. They have employees. They have supplies that they need. They have processes that they have to pay. How much of that 20 actually went to insure you and your car? Maybe $2 or $3. The rest of it went to finance the rest of the world. But when we show up and say, get a free gold savings account, upgrade to a business package, which allows you to get paid not only monthly from the free position, but also weekly, and start accumulating gold and gold back cryptocurrency, exchanging this for this, simply doing that. Now it needs to be investigated. I'm gonna look into that. You know, that sounds good, but I don't know. What's not to know? What's not to know? Can you not afford to save $50 a month for you and your family? Can you not afford to keep $100 a month for you and your family? If you can't, the seed of greatness is not in you. If you can't pay yourself first, you will continually rob from your future and work until you die. Because look at the middle class. We finance everything, almost down to a cup of coffee. We finance everything and continue to rob from our future selves. 5 more years for a car that I'm going to trade in 3 years and extend it for another 5 years. 30 years for a house. So now I'm 41. I had to think about that, because when I look at myself, you know, praise the Lord, black don't crack. You know, that's what I look like, about 27 with the hoodie on. You, if I block the grays. Anyway, I'm 8 years into this house. I got another 22 years if I just stay on the schedule, the program. Go outside and look at my neighborhood, man. It's like they took the houses out of a cookie cutter. Here you guys go. Here's your life. Here's your circle. Stay right there. Don't come out of that. Okay, there's your Toyota. Oh, you're going to get a Mercedes. Okay, make sure it's used. Yes, it's going to look good, but make sure it's used so you can look like you have some money. No, it's time out for looking like we have money. It's time to truly take back the childhood dreams that we had, the childhood dreams that propelled us to the imagination to freaking drive cars with your imaginary friend. Get back to that. Reinvigorate your imagination. Start with reading books. Start with educating yourself. I mean, we literally leave our houses every day to make money or spend money, and we know nothing about it. We have been given no education about it. Is that Ramon, Mrs. Sherry Brown Wilson? Come on, somebody. Let's come together, man. And this is the perfect weekend to talk about this. I have a dream. I have a dream that we came together as a family and we all operated this money system where we kept 50, 60, 70, 100, 200, all the way down to $5. This is a euro, all the way down to $5 monthly, weekly, bi-weekly in a money system that benefits everybody. Every transaction in Karatbars is a win-win. For you to say to me, I'm gonna have to do my investigation, I don't know if I can believe that, is to say that my 18 months in this system has been wasted, that I've been duped, that somehow I'm stupid, you're insulting my intelligence, and then to say anything that would insinuate criminal activities is to call me a criminal. Am I gonna sit here and sit on my high horse and say that I'm without sin? No. I've done some dirt in my life. Yes, I have. I've defrauded some people. Yes, I have. I've taken from other people for my own personal benefit. Yes, I have. I've done some hand-to-hand combat. Y'all know what I'm saying, street level. There you go, take the cash, enjoy yourself. I've done that. But for me to do that now to you, my friends, my family, my loved ones, come on, man. Think higher of me than that. And then look at your situation. Then look at your, be honest with yourself. This is the one person you can't lie to. Go to them and tell them, man, I'm good, man. Me and my house, we good. You know, living check to check is cool for us. Oh, I'm not living check to check. If you can't go 5 years without a paycheck right now, you are living check to check. If your sole income is dependent on your ability to perform, you are a financial disaster waiting to happen. Emergency does not pre-warn you. Catastrophe does not say, hey, on September 3rd, 2024, I'm going to come. So make sure you prepare before then so you have some time to start preparing. No, you start digging the well before you need the water. Now, while the stream is providing the water, you dig the well and start laying up for yourselves, start storing up for yourselves. Karatbars is the perfect opportunity to do so. I'm not even going to go into the rabbit hole of the cryptocurrency that we have, because that right there may confuse you or may deter you. But right now, if I could, and this is what I was going to get at, I'm going to end the stream right here. If I could turn you off for 3 months, if you want the fast track, or for 12 months, if you want the slow track, if I could turn you off and move you out of the way and put the program of Karatbars International in, and that is register for a free gold savings account, immediately acquire a business package, it does not matter which one, and get on auto save for at least 1 gram of gold a month, or a month for the slow track, per week for the fast track, and find 2 people to do the same. Find 2 people that desire, that's good. Find 2 people that desire to be financially free in this world to duplicate that same thing. And what's that? Get a income producing asset, a business package that is a tax write-off delivered to your door via FedEx, or now we have digital packages, and get on auto exchange for 1 gram a week or 1 gram a month, and then pull out the program and turn you back on in 3 months or 12 months. And you see how much gold you now possess. Where my gold at? It's all over my desk. I'll put it away. You see how much gold you start to possess, and then you look at your prepaid Karatbars MasterCard. That's my wife's. This is my old one. And you start to see 3, 5, 6, $1,000 weekly coming to your bank account. You say, how did this happen? It happened because you and your sick mindset got out the way. Yes. When God said renew your mind, you need to find out, okay, where's my mind at, so you know what to renew it off of. We know nothing. What's up, Mr. Matthews? We know nothing. Yeah. Oh, Janae, come on, Janae. Don't do that, because I'll post that. And I think Miss Tanisha Glaspie is the queen of saying this. You can't be busy and broke. You can't have no time and no money. Something's got to give. Come on now. So you know what? I'm going to end this live stream now because Mr. Ty Best just went live. So if you're on my live stream, Mr. Ty Best just went live. Find Ty Best. I'm going to share it. He's our senior mentor who will give you more than you need to know that you can do this. You can pay yourself first and run with two people who would duplicate that desire to be financially free in this world. Then at 9 o'clock on goldrocks.com, goldrocks.info, we have our fast track training. Get on that. Plug into what we're doing and win. Plug into what we're doing. Unplug from yourself and win. So again, 3 months to 12 months later, you can look up and be getting a residual income of $3, $4, $5, $6+ weekly from the activity of saving in an asset and sharing that activity with others. It doesn't get any easier than this. For you to confuse that is for you just to be blessed. You're special. I love you all. Thank you for joining the stream. Mr. Ty Best is live. I will not share the airways with him because I want to hear what he has to say. Get back with the person that's been sharing Karatbars with you. If it's me, get back with me. Get your gold savings account started now. Pop your cherry and move your first bit of money into gold. Because once you do it, you see how easy it is and it don't hurt. Because before you do it, because it feel like a loss. But then once you do it, and you like, hold up, I own gold. Oh, shoot, man, you want to sit back and dance. This is Donovan Yarbo, Mr. Pay Yourself First, Karatbars International. Pay yourself first and don't rob from your future, but sow into your future so that you can truly live your best life. I'm gone.